When it comes to Fortnite, there's a million questions the community asks, such as, when are we going to be seeing Travis Scott returning to the item shop? Hey FireMonkey, what happened to LTMs? Tons of stuff like that. And while I don't have answers to questions like that because those aren't things typically in the files, what I do have answers to is some questions that you guys do ask me, and one of the recent questions I've been getting as we reach closer and closer to the release of the V26.20 update is what are going to be the quests in order to actually unlock the Ahsoka Tano outfit and unlock the other rewards a part of this set. Now firstly, I want to mention we don't know what the other 8 rewards are going to be as of yet. We do know that we're going to be getting 8 rewards added in the V26.20 update that is going to be releasing on the 26th, which is kind of ironic, you know, the 26.20 update on the 26th, but you know, that's besides the point. But luckily with the V26.10 update, we actually did manage to find in the files some references to what some of the upcoming challenges are going to be for the Ahsoka Tano cosmetic set, and an interesting challenge has actually been brought up with this whole entire set, so it definitely adds up for some interesting conversation. So let's hop into a match and then talk about what all these upcoming challenges are going to be. Alrighty, now to start off today's video, I want to mention that in total there are of course going to be 9 challenges you're able to do in the game, with the 9th one of course just being do other challenges in order to unlock the Ahsoka Tano skin itself, but there are 8 total challenges that you know aren't just do other ones for us to do in game. Out of these 8, we have 6 different challenges that we know the complete bit of information about, so there are 2 challenges currently that are still in that unknown territory where we don't exactly know what they're going to require. Now for the first challenge that we do know, it's pretty simple. It's just gain shields, you know, probably be like 500 shields or something around that area, something that you know you can do in multiple games or one game if you're specifically farming for it. And that's going to be a common trend you'll actually see as we go through all these upcoming challenges and stuff, is that we don't know the exact numbers of how much you'll have to do, but we do know what the challenges themselves are based on what the actual challenge is tracking. So for example, the gaining shields challenge, if I was to show an image on screen, it would literally just be a blank image with a question mark on it, because they don't have any text added to it or anything, but they updated the actual challenge tracking data, which is how we're able to get this data. So of course, you know, the first challenge you'll be able to do is to gain shields. The second challenge is going to be something along the lines of surviving storm circles. Now this is marked as a legendary storm circle survival challenge, so this most likely is going to be the higher end ones where it's like survive 10 storm circles, survive 20, you know, a very high amount so that you can't just get it done in one game. Now I do think that, you know, when it comes to the survive storm circle challenges as a whole, my personal opinion on them is that Epic Games kind of puts those out to pad out playtime and keep people engaged for longer, because they're going to keep playing as they want to play through all the storm circles in order to get a free reward that they can get. You know, it's just one of those things that takes a lot more time for basically no reason, in my personal opinion. We have another challenge to complete job boards, so those are the ones that you can actually go to. We'll actually go to one over here real quickly, where you can select between either, you know, getting a actual chest challenge, getting a actual bounty, you know, normal elimination challenge, or getting another challenge to visit locations, right? You know, these 3 things, it'll just simply be something like that, where you go up there, you do a few of those job boards. It might not be one. If I had to take a guess based on previous challenges, I would assume you'd have to do around like 3 job boards in order to actually complete that quest, you know, 3 to 5, but it is one of the upcoming challenges that we're going to be seeing in the game, and it's going to be for one of the free rewards, a part of the Ahsoka Tano set in the whole entire battle pass. Now by free, I think you do need to own the battle pass in order to do these challenges, but as long as you own the battle pass, you know, it's basically just an extra benefit on top of everything else. We also have another challenge to simply put deal damage, but there's actually 2 different types of deal damage challenges. Of course, we have the first one, which you know is basically deal damage with absolutely anything, assuming it doesn't get changed before the update officially releases, but we also have another challenge to deal damage with specifically melee weapons. And as we know, for the Ahsoka Tano collaboration, we are most likely going to be seeing the return of lightsabers. I think even people are mentioning, you know, a new lightsaber being teased from the original trailer we had seen, you know, for the launch of the season. So it most likely is going to be something where instead of dealing damage with melee weapons such as, you know, an actual pickaxe or, you know, the kinetic blade, which will be returning later on the season, it's going to be something where you have to deal melee damage with lightsabers to opponents. It would just make sense since, you know, melee hand-to-hand combat is something that goes with the lightsabers, and kind of how the same Star Wars challenges from before have kind of been coded in the files. So it does appear like one of the challenges will require you to use lightsabers. It appears that the lightsabers are going to be returning, and there's a little bit of like a bonus leak for you guys, which I'll probably mention in another video anyways. It does appear like the blaster rifles will be returning as well for the Ahsoka Tano quest, and you know, for the whole entire challenge is coming out. But there is one challenge I had specifically skipped from mentioning very early on in this video, because of the fact that it's a little weird and not something that we've ever seen done by any type of challenge in Fortnite before. This requires you to be the first one to open a chest, the first one to get eliminations, and the first one to land on the ground from a match, and this can be done over multiple matches. You don't have to do them in the same match, but you have to at least get those accolades at least once in the game, right? So you have to be the first person to get elimination once in the game, you have to be the first person to actually open a chest once in the game, and you have to be the first person to land on the ground once in the game. It is something very unique that we've never seen them do before, and that is the reason why I highly believe that these upcoming challenges are the actual proper data for the Ahsoka Tano quest, because they not only got added this update, but they also have stuff that we've never seen Epic Games really do before with challenges, and it definitely adds a little bit of a weird wrench into the challenge plans of trying to figure out how you're going to go about doing everything, because this one requires some very specific things that could be rough for some people to actually obtain. Of course, you have your normal challenges that are pretty simple, like, be the first one to land from a match. That'll be hard at first because everyone and their mom's going to be trying to do that one. You have the one to be the first person to open a chest. You'll probably be doing that one as you're the first one to land in a match, but the one where you have to be the first person in the entire match to get an elimination, that is where it gets a little odd. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, right? Of course you can be the first to do something like that, but I feel like it's going to be something that's going to be more difficult for people to actually obtain very easily. But on top of that, I also think it's going to be a situation where people are going to be the first person to get an elimination in a match, but it's not going to give them the benefits of it, and it's going to bug out one way or another. The reason why I say that is because it's notoriously known that those first to do specific thing challenges have always been bugged in Fortnite, at least from my experience, where you could quite literally be the first person to open a chest or the first person to get elimination, first person to do anything in the game, but they won't reward the accolade for you. And then there's been times before where I'll actually play with people, right? And my teammates or whatever, the people in my squad and other teams will have opened up chests before me and everything else. They'll have grinded out and got their loot up before I've even gotten a chance to, yet for some reason I still get the accolade for being the first person to actually do some of these things, despite knowing and being able to visually see that I wasn't the first person to do it. So it is going to be an interesting situation once those quests release, because it's going to be a spot where there's some times where it will work perfectly for you, you're not going to have an issue, but there's other times where you're going to have an issue where it's like, okay, I should have been the first person to do this, no one else has done it yet in this match, but for some reason it isn't properly tracking for me. So it's a little bit of a scary area, at least for me personally, when it comes to those upcoming challenges. So keep your eyes peeled for any changes that actually happen, but of course these things are leaked information, and they could change before the official release in 2 weeks, with the V26.20 update, but at least as of right now, these are what all the challenges are going to be. So hopefully got you guys prepared for all the Ahsoka Tano cosmetics. Leave a comment down below, what do you think the other cosmetic rewards are going to be, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. Peace out.